see this video can, as I go and tell how I've got what ones for sale that I will get rid of, they can get a hold of me later and then get a hold of me to let me know what all they're interested in. But other than that, I figured this was going to happen. These dogs here, these pups here, all out of one litter, come out of Isnot. Isnot's right off of Ornot and Uno. Uni, I named her. Uni is right off of Braskin and Brandy Star, where Brandy Star's right off of Chi-Town, an alligator bred dog, and Mayfield's Queen Tut. But I bred Uni to Ornot, which is your purest tutor dog I've got here on my yard is a stud dog. I bred the Ornot dog to Uni to produce Isnot, and he's one hell of a dog. And I've been breeding him to a lot of the bitches off of King Minos, which is Brandy Star's brother. He's the oldest dog on my yard. But I'm going to be letting a few of these get out. And the zipper females right down off of Spring and King Minos, Battendorf Spring, which is off of Macho and Calamity. And then I bred King Minos over Spring to produce Zipper, and I brought the Zipper bitch back to Isnot to produce these pups. There was 3 blacks, 4 chocolates, and I lost a fawn red bitch that matches this male right here. So let me get on with cleaning these dogs up, and then we'll get on to strawing them up. So what's going on here, Don? This is how I set my kennels up to protect my puppies for the winter. I put this wind block up on the north side, plus I've got another kennel 20-footer down here with a little bit older pups I can't let loose with the smaller ones. They're just too big. But I set them up with full feeders, and then I've got the straw in behind the back of the barrel and on the side of the barrel for more insulation. As soon as I get the money, I'll roof these. Put the flaps in the front. Like I said, I've got this other litter over here. They're too big to be putting out with the others. Everything's set up to where my pups, they get plenty of exercise in these bigger kennels, and they've always got fresh water and feed. That's how I get my pups ready for the winter. I don't slack on giving them heat lamps or nothing like that unless they're real babies with their mama. That goes on inside the barn when I whelp them. But what we'll do is we'll get out on the yard and I'll start putting the straw in behind the wind blocks and tell about the dog's breedings. We'll do it a couple minutes at a time. Got an old farmer up the road here that bells this fresh every year. Can't beat the straw that I get. Good oat straw. Wheat straw. But I've come up with this way of doing this for my dogs to insulate underneath the barrel and behind it. You know, you put it inside, but underneath will help, and behind it will help hold their body heat in, because we get some real cold weather out here. For anybody that gets cold weather, if your dogs are coming out with their tails between their legs and their hackles up, you've got a cold animal. You can't go over that. I don't go over that. It's hard on your animal. So remember that. If your dog is cold, his hackles will be up, his tail between his legs. And that isn't good. Now, you might have dogs come out on windy days with their tails between their legs, but if their hackles aren't up, they're not cold. The wind will make them do that, put their tails between their legs. But 9 times out of 10, I don't have none of that. But this just gives you a little idea of how to really insulate your dogs up. For all the other viewers that hasn't seen my videos, Don Mayfield's got every video I've done since he schooled me in the game. As far as the winter part of it, I've done that on my own, by just being around the dogs and having a big yard. So, the main thing is that keeping that body heat in. So, this gives you a little good idea of what all I do here as far as to take care of my dogs through the winter. And as far as these cable runs being set up, for anybody that hasn't seen the other videos, Don does have these videos. How I prepared and set these cable runs up. There were some of my viewers, some of the older dogmen got my videos and they claim that it'll never work. Well, they're very wrong. I tightened my cables down to where I took the slack out. I've only had 2 chain breaks. The second, it wasn't a chain break. She got around the guide wire. My stop got loose. She got around the guide wire and pulled her head out of the collar. My first chain break was from a bad bull snap in '98. That, as far as the second one is when she got around the guide wire, which that happened 2 weeks ago. Thank God I got out here on it. So let's get on down here. We'll start just, I'm not going random order with the brochure. So you just remember the dog's name and go to the brochure and you'll see how that dog's bred up 7 generations. I'm going to start on the big line of 18. And hopefully we can get all these dogs in on this video. The first dog I'm coming to is a real good friend of mine's dog. His name's Miko. Howard Ellis owned this dog and bought him from me, and he left him here on my yard. We're schooling him out on the calf mill and different other things. What I do is I make a good bed on the bottom. 2 beads usually does that. Then I go in behind the back. It might take a little bit of straw, but it's worth every bit of what you do. Good enough. It's basically real simple to set up. It really helps keep their body heat in. If you're in real cold weather, this helps a lot. More than what you'll ever know. You'll know because your dog will come out feeling good. Good enough. All right. This is Miko. Miko's right down off that Asia female, which Asia's right down off of Tudor's. In the Gazette, Maddorf had an ad out about Lee Masters' Tudor. Well, that Tudor dog's belly sister, I bred to the Pure family. Asked to produce a bitch called Asia. Then I brought Asia back to King Minos, which is off of Mayfield's Queen's Hut and Chi-Town. I crossed the 2 alligator families that were bred back to the Pure family. Produce this dog here, Miko. I've got his 2 sisters here on my yard. But his name's Miko. Lock and key will be in that brochure. That's this dog's belly brother. Let me get on the young female over there that's right off the snake family and alligator family because I'm not going to sell her. She's a brood bitch. This dog here is Miney. He's right off of King Minos and Annie, Uncle Niece breeding. I've got a man that's wanting him out of Florida. So, he's 2.5 years old. He's ready to go. He went through all of his checks. Good little dog. Oh my mind. That dog there's already got a deposit on him. Hey, I just bred that female up yesterday to her grandpa's Scorpio, which Scorpio's right off of Mayfield, Nebraska, and Midnight Midge. Midge was off of Nigger, Gator, and Mert. He's the second oldest dog in my yard, but I bred him back to his granddaughter. This is a hell of a bitch. There will be pups available for her if she sticks. off this female. She's one of the brood bitches here on my yard. This is the female I call Jessie. That Miko dog I showed earlier, I told about his breeding. This here's his half-sister, Jessie. What it was I bred that Asia female, which was off of Lee Master's Black Sassy. One of the females I bred to King Minos, the other one I bred to Scorpio. This is a bitch that's right off of Scorpio. And I bred her back to King Minos, and she did stick. There will be pups available off of her. I don't know how many she's going to have, but she did stick. Come here, Jess. Come here, Jessie. This is a good bitch. She did stick. So, but now all that stuff is real old alligator blood. And I'm the only one that's been bringing it back to the pure stuff like Don taught me. And it's been working, and I haven't had a complaint out of all the dogs I've sold. I don't get no complaints. Very, very, I haven't had no complaints. Let me show you this next dog. It's not. I've been using him here on my yard for breeding program. In my breeding program. Because the things he's done in his short age. Not only one heck of a good worker, he's a hell of a producer as far as what I've seen on the bitches I've been bringing him back to. And I told about his breeding earlier. He's right off of Uni. Uni, right off Braskin and Brandy. Uni wasn't bred until she was 7. Come here, big dog. Isnot. Come here. That's my Isnot dog. In my other videos, Don, when he was a pup in the living room, he's grown up since then. He's right off of Uni and Isnot. I mean, Uni and Ornot. One hell of a dog, man. He's not for sale, but I've got pups. I've bred him to about 9 bitches this year. And I got pups I have to separate anywhere from 9 to 11 weeks old. You got to get them apart. But I'll tell you what bitches I bred him to as we go down through here. This female here is called Ruby Red, Don. I got her back from Brad and Ernie for a pup out of Isnot. She's 6 years old. Her brother's that gangster dog I sold down there that King Arthur got a hold of. And he's claiming the different papers on him. But anyway, this is his sister. I bred her to Isnot. This bitch here is right off of Makeyour's Caddy bitch. Caddy's right off of Divo. What it was Braskin was bred to Sheba to produce a bitch called Caddy. Caddy was bred back to Scorpio to produce this bitch. Scorpio's off of Braskin and Midge. Her name's Ruby Red. She did stick. She's about 3 weeks pregnant. One hell of a bitch. I don't know how many I'm going to get off there, but I'm keeping 2 brood bitches out of this myself. Her name's Ruby Red. Red to Isnot. This is a female I call Locke. Her brother was sold over in the Virgin Islands. His name was Key. This is Miko's sister. Right down off of Asia and King Minos. I might sell her, I don't know. Some of these barrels have been notched, so they can't get them out. Come here, Lon. I'll show you, baby. Come here. Pretty good. Girl. She's a good girl. All these dogs, every dog in my yard works a cat mill. I've schooled them out to the part of a young dog all the way up to now. This is a 3-year-old bitch. I'm waiting for her to come in heat. She's, right like I said, off King Minos in Asia. Her name's Locke. Look it up in that brochure that comes with this video and you'll see 7 generations on each one of these dogs. Locke dog. Here's a dog I call Otis. One hell of a little bulldog. He's right off Matador Spring and King Minos. One good little dog here. He is for sale. He's 2.5 years old. Every dog in that litter that I let go out, I've had nothing but people calling me, wanting to know if I repeated the breeding. Come here, Otis. Where's the Yodi? Good boy, son. Little Otis. He's a barrel-headed dog, but he's scissor bit. Come here, son. It's okay. Hard-working dog. I do have him for sale. He's at the right age. Otis, right off King Minos Spring. This bitch here's name's Missy. She's right off of King Minos breeding his niece, Annie. Annie's off Scorpio and Brandy Star. I bred Annie back to King Minos, her uncle, to produce this bitch. This is Miney's sister. She did stick. I bred her to Isnot. I've already got people wanting to put deposits down on pups. But you can't count your chickens before they're hatched. One of the strongest bitches on my yard right here. Remember, see? She'll kill you too with kindness. She's stuck. She's a good girl. This bitch will work a cat mill like a grown dog. One hard mouth too. But anyway, this all for Annie and King Minos. Uncle D's breeding, I bred her back to Isnot. It'll click. Got a lot more to go, that's a guarantee. We're on our Indian summer this time of the year. Cold weather's coming. People get that video from 1998 winter from Don. We had a snowfall out here that hit 22 inches. And these barrels were on the other end of these 50-footers. And I couldn't drive a four-wheeler. I had to pack the water and feed together. I think in about 7 days I lost something like 14 pounds, which I need to lose now. But it's coming. Get a buck. Oh, I bred up this summer. She's right off that female I call Queenie. Queenie's the belly sister of that dog, Wade Hamilton's always advertising King Tut in your Gazette. The belly sister of that dog I bred back to Isnot. And this is one of the pups out of that breed. Come here. Come here, beautiful. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. 5 months old. I let the dog's sister get out to Mark Hare in Utah, to him and Karen, which are very good people. They come all the way from Utah and bought this dog's sister. This here's my big Brandy female, right off Isnot, and the Queenie female, which I'll show Queenie later, King Tut's sister. And Randy Fry out in Ohio's got the crazy Bella bitch. I mean not Crazy Bella, the female called Fail. This here's Brandy, big Brandy. Later on down the line, I'll speak more about her. Here's one hell of a female for the viewers. Hard to get bred, I know that. This is Not's mama, Una. Right off of Braskin and Brandy Star. She's 7 years old, only had one litter. I have some guys come in and steal pups out of her and left me Isnot. Since then, them guys have moved to Kentucky. I've kept track of them to the part of where I know what they got and I know what they had when they left. It'll come out later when their yard's shown, because them dogs will just enhance their yard of dogs. It will come out in the open later on. This bitch here, one hell of a female. Come here. This is Isnot's mama, right off Braskin and Brandy Star. This was the second breeding I ever made. This female right here. Braskin bred to Brandy Star twice. The first time, like I said, it produced a dog called Cut It, Crazy Bella, Uni, Sharp, and a bitch called Tiny. Which Tiny's in your sporty dog journals, producing like 2 champions in one litter or what have you. But I bred it the second time, Braskin and Brandy, to produce 2 females here on my yard called Coco and Nina. And the 2 males in there was called Yankee and Captain Morgan. Yankee's a grand champion out in South Carolina right now. This is the mama it is not, named Uni. Called Demon. In your 1998 video, you'll see this dog retrieving a log for me out in the Illinois River. He's one of the stud dogs in my yard. He's right off of Scorpio breed in Odessa. Scorpio's off of Braskin and Midge, which Midge's sister was Reba, and Braskin bred Reba to produce Odessa. I brought Scorpio over his cousin Odessa to produce this Demon dog. I've got 5-month-old male over there now. I call him Grizz. He had to go on chain at 5 months old. He might be for sale. This is my Demon dog. Just in case I'm going through this video too fast for people to understand their breeds, just remember the dog's name. Go back and look at how the dog's bred up 7 generations. We say little dog, 48 pounder. This dog's got a real long lung. Last year, I had him up to 5-hour sets on the cat mill. And it takes too much video to put all that on video, you know, where people can see it all. But this is an all-around athlete. He's a show winner, too. Say April Marie. Female I call April Marie. She's right off Brandy Star and Scorpio's first. That was what it was Brandy Star's second breeding. The third breeding, I took her back to Braskin again. That produced that Yankee dog and Coco and what have you. But her name's April Marie. And I bred her to King Minos, her uncle, 3 times for what they've produced. April, she'll be bred to Isnot next time. Come here, baby. Put it down. Good girl. This bitch here's going on 7. One hell of a female. Black chocolate. There was a dog in my last 98-video was named 2-Stroke out of her. Third breed, I bred King Minos to her. I sold that female out to 2 guys called Dave Lewis and Dan Cook out of Idaho. One of them was a photographer out of Hollywood, which was Dave. They got the 2-Stroke dog from me out of this bitch. He was a standout male, too. But that there is April Marie. Here's a double-bred Scorpio female I call Casino. What it was, when I took the Scorpio dog and I bred the Brandy Star to produce that Annie female, April's sister. I bred Annie back to a male dog called Bully, which Bully is off of Scorpio breed in Matador Spring. I doubled up. I took Bully back over Annie. Produced this bitch here called Casino. And I bred her to Isnot this summer. And I ended up with only 3 dogs out of litter again. And them pups are already out on chain. They're, this female here, and then I sold the sister to this dog to Raymond and Modge up north that's got a hell of a yard bred up. This is my casino bitch. I bred her to Isnot. I've got one little male over there I call Rotten. He might be for sale. I sold the other 2. One out in Ohio, and the other one went to my partner Ike for whelping the litter over there this summer. But this casino, like I said, I got a pup over there right off of this bitch in Isnot. I'll show you him later. Female here, I've got 2 of them. I might part with letting one of them go. It don't matter to me. Her sister over there is named Star, and this bitch's name's Princess. What they are is that April bitch back there. I bred the King Minos to produce a bitch called Weatherby. And I brought Weatherby back to her daddy again. What that would be is a great uncle and uncle niece breeding back to her daddy. Weatherby come back to King Minos to produce this bitch. Come here, Princess. Come to daddy, buddy. This bitch is 14 months old. She's a high flyer too. She's a hot one. But this bitch's name's Princess. Scissor bit, big tools. She's a nice bitch. Like I said, it was an uncle niece breeding. April back to King Minos to produce Weatherby, and I brought Weatherby back to her daddy and her great uncle to produce this female. And I got a male out here called Dolby, which one of Raymond's partners bought, and they're keeping him here on my yard to school him on the cat mill and what have you. But this is Princess. I'll show you her sister here in a little bit, named Sharp or Star. For anybody that wants to know more about these barrel holders and stuff, these my dad's made now for a little over 12 years. The couple out there try to get their barrels out of the barrel holders. It's hard for them to do it, and they can't break them. I'm called Abigail. Abigail's right down off of Treason. Bred back to her son. We called him Pee-wee. Me and Brian Shag done this breeding. I'm waiting for her to come in heat. After I get a litter, well, I will let her go. What that is Treason's off of Askham and Odessa. Odessa's off of Braskin and Riva. I took a half-brother-sister breeding, asked him over to Odessa to produce Treason. Treason was then brought back to Scorpio. Come here, Abby. Spence ain't a shy boner of mine. Come here. I brought Scorpio back to Treason to produce this Abigail bitch. Her name's Abigail. I will be breeding her up. I don't know if it's going to be or not or is not. One of them 2, I'm going to be breeding them up. But her name's Abby. And after I get a litter off of her, I will part with letting her go. She's a real pure bitch. It's like 4 times on Braskin. So, let me get on to a different stretch now. Show them how it looks after the straw's put under and behind the barrels. What do you got there?